Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
All right, it's 6:07. It's O'Connor and Company. Coming up at 7:05, Joe DeGenova will be our guest. 7:35, Adam Piper of the Republican Attorneys General Association on the Jason Miyares race in Virginia. 8:05, Jack Keane, General Retired, 4-star, thank you very much, on the Israel-Hamas peace deal and where things go now that the hostages have been released. And at 8:35, Jane Hampton Cook on this Columbus Day history. That's coming up. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
We had several moments on the weekend shows, the Sunday shows. People don't watch them anymore, but they see clips go viral, and they hear us talking about it here on Talk Radio. Let's start with Vice President J.D. Vance, who sat with ABC News, Disney employee George Stephanopoulos. You'll remember George Stephanopoulos. He's the one who used that exact same platform. The This Week with George Stephanopoulos show, which has really gone downhill from David Brinkley. I still miss that show. I'm dating myself, I know. He used that platform to lie about President Trump, and that resulted in a $15 million libel suit, defamation suit, that ABC News and George Stephanopoulos settled with. Here's J.D. Vance sparring with George Stephanopoulos. And understand, there's a government shutdown. There's a peace deal in Israel. There's a lot going on in the world. Tariff issues with China. A lot you can talk to the vice president about. George Stephanopoulos decided to pick up this Tom Homan. Remember this story where it's been reported that Tom Homan was caught on audio saying something about receiving $50,000 from some entity for it's honestly, it's one of those sort of rabbit hole fever swamp kind of stories that trust me, if there was anything to that, it would be front page news everywhere. It's not. There isn't. But Stephanopoulos is sure there's a scandal there. Here's cut 4. Take a listen.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law. I think it's really preposterous. I know Tom. I think that he's a good man. He gets death threats. He gets attacked. He gets constantly threatened by people because he has the audacity to want to enforce the country's immigration laws. I think that it would be a much more interesting story about why is it that Tom Homan, who is simply enforcing Americans' immigration laws, is getting constantly harassed and threatened to the point of death threats. That's a much more interesting question that I think journalists should focus on. We can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take a bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that Tom Homan has ever taken a bribe.
All right. So, and he just kept going on. By the way, for people who aren't following this story, it's not really a story, but you heard George Stephanopoulos reference it. It goes back to September 2024. Who was president in September of 2024? Do you remember? September of 2024?
Biden.
That's correct, Joe Biden. And I'm glad you remember. I don't think Joe Biden remembers, by the way. But Joe Biden's FBI under Christopher Wray and Attorney General Merrick Garland. See, to me, this is the real story. Joe Biden and Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray had FBI agents allegedly pose undercover as contractors doing business with and hiring Tom Homan to advocate for them.
Wow.
For $50,000 and try to entrap him, basically, in a crime. So explain something to me. If Joe Biden was the president of the United States, what was Tom Homan's official job with the U.S. government? He didn't have one. He was a private citizen. So how can a private citizen accept a bribe if he isn't actually working for the Department of Homeland Security. In fact, this was supposedly took place 2 months before the presidential election. And you heard George Stephanopoulos there say that the FBI recorded him accepting this $50,000, although George Stephanopoulos has never heard that recording. I know I have never heard that recording.
No.
All right. I'm going on and on. I'm sort of laying out there for you exactly how thin this story is and how it's based on, BS. George Stephanopoulos wouldn't let it go. Here's a little bit more. And finally, J.D. Vance had enough. Take a listen.
Saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money.
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No,
Well,
George,
Governor
I
J.B.
said that I
Pritzker's
don't.
Up next. We'll be right back.
Oh.
Did you hear that? Vance continued to talk. He just cut him off and went to commercial.
Let's also just take a moment to remember that this is the same anchor who couldn't bother to spend 10 seconds on Hunter Biden and President Biden taking bribes from China. Okay, and
that's right.
So
that's right. Yeah. It's glorious, actually. That's George Stephanopoulos. But here's what's going on. Everyone who works at ABC now and parent company Disney, they think that they have free reign. They've got a get out of jail free card. They've got a hall pass because Disney bowed the knee and melted down and acquiesced to the left-wing rage mob when they took Jimmy Kimmel off the air. And so you're George Stephanopoulos. You're like, well, listen, if they caved and they brought Jimmy Kimmel back, I can do anything here. And if they fire me or suspend me, just wait till you see what the left-wing rage mob does. I wonder if Bob Iger really wants this for his company. I wonder if he thinks this is a healthy thing. Boy, did they make a mistake bringing Jimmy back. It's a little bit more. Just wait till you hear Lindsey Graham on Meet the Press. I know. Hold on tight. Lindsey Graham was phenomenal with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press. He's got like once every 6 months, Lindsey Graham is worth listening to on stuff like this. So we'll show you in a moment. It's 6:15.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Your next $1,000 could be one text away. It's $5K a day on WMAL.
Rolling right along here, let's look at Cut 7. This is NBC News' Kristen Welker at Meet the Press trying to nail Lindsey Graham on the hypocrisy because the Justice Department's being weaponized against Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York. This is outrageous what the president is doing. And here comes Lindsey Graham. Listen.
Do you think that crosses a line between the Justice Department being independent from the executive branch?
I think our Justice Department in the hands of Biden crossed every line there is to cross. I think within 3 days of announcing he was going to run for president in 2024, he did that in 2022.
But what about Trump?
He had
but Senator,
91
what about
indictments.
Trump? What about?
Yeah. Now, I think the grand jury is going to take care of this, but you didn't care any about this. You didn't care that Letitia James made
let's
up
just pause here for a second. Pause there. Go back about 15 seconds. Did you hear Christine? What about Trump?
What?
But what about Trump?
They just pivot instantly. They can't stand it.
But this is what they're reduced to.
Yes.
The fact that Kristen Welker is sitting in the anchor chair at Meet the Press and her entire job has been reduced to that. Her entire job has been reduced to, what about Trump? What about Trump?
Can we get back to Trump?
All right, so let's pick it up from, what about Trump? Go ahead.
Within 3 days of announcing he was going to run for president in 2024, he did that in 2022.
But what about Trump?
He had
But Senator,
91
what about
indictments.
Trump? What about Trump?
Now, I think the grand jury is going to take care of this, but you didn't care any about this. You didn't care that Letitia James made up charges that no one's ever faced.
But Senator
Alvin
Biden
Bragg
never
made up
publicly
charges
called
no one
for
ever
Trump
faced.
to be indicted.
He had 90. Biden regretted that they didn't do it before the election. Jack Smith surveilled my phone records and 8 other senators. Jack Smith introduced his brief against Trump October the 24th before the 2024 election, violating every protocol just to politicize the election. So this may bother you that people are being held accountable. It doesn't bother me one damn bit.
Good job, Lindsay. Now and again, he can do it. I do love that the media now has been reduced. Understand when they say, well, Joe Biden never publicly called for the indictment. So what they're saying is Joe Biden wasn't transparent and he wasn't honest and he at least hid what he was doing. That's what the media is now praising. Can't Trump just hide what he's doing behind the scenes instead of actually being out front saying that he thinks that his political persecutors should actually face criminal justice if they've broken the law? How dare he say such things out loud? This is Washington, D.C. You're supposed to lie about that.
You're supposed to let us do all that, right? We'll do
That's
it
right.
for you.
That's our job. That's our job. All right. Meanwhile, Chris Murphy, God, is this guy, I mean, honestly, of all the duplicitous, just cringy Democrats who are just, I have to say, Margaret Brennan, of all people, on,
I know, I couldn't believe
oh, no,
it.
Excuse me. This is Kristen Welker as well. No, this is Margaret Brennan. This is Margaret Brennan.
I know. I was like, I had to rewind
Face
it a
the
few
Nation.
times.
She says to Chris Murphy, because he was on talking about the shutdown, which is odd because I thought the top story was Tom Homan and $50,000 from 2024. How weird that Margaret Brennan would be talking to a senator about the government shutdown. Doesn't she know that the Tom Homan $50,000 is the only story on anyone's mind right now? She has Chris Murphy there saying that shutdown is, first of all, it's all Republicans' fault, and second of all, Democrats are in the right and they're doing the right thing. And, well, she found a clip of Chris Murphy, the same Chris Murphy that she's interviewing, from 2018 talking about government shutdowns. Take a listen.
You have been critical in the past of the tactic of choosing to shut down the government. You were in 2018. You were back in 2013 when it was a discussion over health care. This is what you said in 2018.
The future of the American healthcare system was a legitimate public policy issue, as is the security of our borders. But we shouldn't be having the discussion amidst a government shutdown, trying to use our nation's security and all of these federal workers and the work that they do as hostages.
Aren't you doing today exactly what you were criticizing then?
No, that was a fight over sort of the long-term.
No, that wasn't the same.
That was totally different. Totally different situation.
I'm telling you, Larry, when she wants to, Margaret Brennan can really impersonate a journalist. I mean, when she wants to, she does a pretty good impersonation there. I was sort of impressed. But yeah, you do love Chris Murphy's. Oh no, not the same, not the same. Oh, this is much different.
Of course, it's the same. It's exactly the same. The government shutdown that Ted Cruz instituted in 2014 was specifically about the Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, about to be implemented, when he was saying, no, we can't do this, you guys. We got to stop this because, number one, you're going to lose your doctor, even if you like your doctor, because Obama lied. And everyone in the media is like, that's not true. You're going to lose your insurance if you like your insurance because Obama lied. And everyone in the media was like, that's not true. And, oh, by the way, this is actually going to make everything much more expensive. And now here we are 15 years later. 10 years later, and the Democrats are shutting down the government. Why? Because of all those things Ted Cruz warned about 10 years ago. But when Ted Cruz shut down the government to keep ACA from coming in, it was a crime against humanity. When Democrats are shutting it down to keep ACA going, even though it's unsustainable, it's righteous and virtuous. It's almost like there's a double standard, Julie.
Almost.
Yeah. Almost. Sadly, we don't have much of an update for you on the government shutdown, other than it appears as though it will only end after the Democrats have a big No Kings rally that they've planned.
That's right.
We'll give you those details as the morning develops. Right now, it's 6:23.
Oh, dear. Kamala's back, and she's talking about world affairs. And as usual, she's completely out to lunch. We'll give you an update. Keep it here at 6:30.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 6:37. Good Monday morning. It's O'Connor and Company here as we tackle the events of the world, including, good news finally out of the Middle East. President Trump on the ground in Jerusalem. The hostages are freed, and, well, we can sort of exhale a bit as we've held our collective breath, and now, well, there's still more to do, of course. At 7:05, Joe DeGenevo will be our guest. 7:35, Adam Piper of the Republican Attorneys General Association on that Jay Jones thing. 8:05, General Jack Keane on what's next in the Israel-Hamas deal. And at 8:35, Jane Hampton Cook, presidential historian on Columbus Day, fresh off of her hands-on work in getting the ceasefire and the peace deal constructed, is Julie Gunlock. Joining us now. You were welcome back from Egypt. I know you were there with Jared Kushner, and that's why you're here. Everybody who comes on this program to join me has some sort of, yeah, it's wonderful, and congratulations to you for that. So Kamala Harris, remember her?
I do, sadly.
She also had her own Sunday show interview yesterday with the dude that was going to be her press secretary.
Right.
This is this
Eugene Daniels.
Eugene Daniels. That's right.
Yep.
He's got the giant fro going there.
Yes.
He used to be with Politico. He's with MSNBC now. He's not. I mean, this is relevant just because you need to understand, the tone of his voice and the dynamic here. He really was going to. He was the president of the White House Correspondents Association, by the way.
Yep.
He was going to be Kamala Harris's press secretary. It was an open secret in town. He is openly gay, married. I know because he wore a white, sort of dress, basically, when he got married to a white dude, by the way, which is always fascinating to me that these gay black men who scream about racism and how, the white man is, trying to dominate and persecute blacks in America. And then they go, like Don Lemon, they go and marry a white dude. Ilhan Omar marries a white dude. It's like all these people, just like what is exactly going on in that relationship when you're sure that white men are like the Satan of our country, and then you go and sleep with them, right? It's like, okay, you got something going on there.
Yeah.
He also cross-dresses.
Yes.
Have I set the stage properly for this dynamic with Kamala Harris? All right, good. And then we have this exchange. Now, this one has to do with a question about the peace deal. Understand for a moment before you hear this. This woman could have been president of the United States. And everything that has transpired in the world, including the strike on Iran, including the ceasefire deal, and it did everything, all of the peace deals that Trump's been able to secure. None of that would have happened if Kamala Harris were the president. Now listen to her in this full exchange with Eugene Daniels about the situation on the ground there, and listen closely at how quickly she pivots and makes Israel the aggressor and the Nazis, basically trying to commit genocide on Gaza. Listen.
President Trump will be on his way to the Middle East. They have this deal between Israel and Palestine. Both former Secretaries of State Hillary Clinton and Antony Blinken have commended President Trump for the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Do you agree with them? Should he be commended?
Look, I don't think that we should hold in credit where it's due. I mean, first of all, let me say about that deal, I really do hope it becomes real. and that the hostages are out, that Gaza is no longer being treated with such brutality of force, that aid goes in. And I commend the people who have been a part of this process. I'd commend the Qataris, the Egyptians, and the president.
A lot of folks in your party
All right, pause there for a second. Pause there, and you can go back a couple of seconds so we can pick it up. All right, so you notice that, first of all, the only mention of what Israel's been through is the hostages are out. Not even, what do you mean the hostages? You mean the innocent Israeli citizens who have been starved and tortured for 2 years. I mean, like, the hostages. If you're not following the news, you have no idea who the hostages are. But then she immediately pivots to the horrors and brutality that the Palestinians and Gazans have had to endure. Not one word about the horror and brutality of October 7th. Isn't that it's remarkable?
Of course. It's disgusting.
And then finally, when she gives credit, who does she give credit to? Qatar, Egypt,
and then
and I suppose the administration.
Right. Sort of an afterthought. Fine.
That's despicable.
Revolting.
And then Eugene Daniels says, "Well, don't you think it's a genocide?" Here, listen.
A lot of folks in your party have called what's happening in Gaza a genocide. Do you agree with that?
I think that, listen, it is a term of law that a court will decide, but I will tell you that when you look at the number of children that have been killed, the number of innocent civilians that have been killed, the refusal to give aid and support, we should all step back and ask this question and be honest about it. Yeah.
It's just...
absolutely revolting.
Imagine if she had won. Just imagine if she had
I know. The sort of lack of certainty, the sort of hedging and hemming and hawing is so revolting when we're talking about what happened to the Israelis on October 7th, how they have done so much to warn civilians, to take actions to spare civilians in Gaza, and for her to suggest that Israel, when it is Hamas that have put the Gazans in this situation, it's revolting. And again, I just that sort of hemming and hawing is just so exhausting to listen to.
Honestly, between her and Abigail Spanberger both. Did you know Abigail Spanberger's asked about whether biological men should be allowed to be in girls' private spaces, and she starts talking about Title IX and the legalities
grazing
and the
laws.
judge, and we're waiting for the grazing laws and all of the funding in the Department of Education. I'm just waiting for a judge to tell us exactly what it is. It's like you need a judge to tell you what a person with an Audi instead of an innie is. That's a boy. Ma'am, and that she's asked about genocide, and she's like, well, it's that's a legal thing. A judge will decide whether it's a genocide. It's
they believe in nothing, Larry. They believe in nothing.
Well, no. Actually, they do believe in something, but they're still politically terrified to tell us what they really think and what they really believe. And so then they fall into that. It's 6:44.
Later this morning on the Chris Plante Show, hey, it's Monday morning. How many times have the Democrats voted against opening the federal government? 9 a.m. on WMAL.
Would you like more Kamala Harris nonsense, Julie Gunlock?
I mean, why not? It's a Monday.
I knew you would. So, of course, she's on this book tour, 107 days, because she only had 107 days, As she's on her book tour, she is reiterating what a wonderful, strong, beautiful, almost family-like relationship she has with Joe and her dearest, like a sister friend, Dr. Jill Biden. And, of course, they hate each other, but that's fine. She's still so while she's talking about what a wonderful relationship they have, of course, she's dumping all over him in her book. And so here, Eugene Daniels, as you know, President Biden has undergone some pretty heavy-duty radiation therapy over the last several days for his advanced cancer that they just discovered. Of course, they weren't hiding his real health crisis while he was president. Oh, no, he was strong as a horse. So now Eugene Daniels asks Kamala Harris about Joe Biden and the cancer treatments, and, take a listen.
I want to get to some news that just came out today with President Biden. His spokesperson said that he is going to now start doing radiation for his prostate cancer. Have you talked to him about it?
I called him earlier.
How's he doing?
I have not talked to him. I just left him a message after I heard the news.
Wait.
Have you talked to him? Yeah, I called him earlier. How's he doing? I don't know. I didn't talk to him.
I left him a message. Cut 9A. Let's just listen to that part.
Have you talked to him about it?
I called him earlier.
How's he doing?
I have not talked to him. I just left him a message.
You know when you call someone and you desperately hope you get their voicemail? And then you leave the voicemail and you're like, that's enough. That's enough. Now, and you say something like, no need to call back. I know you're really busy. And you're desperately hoping they don't call back. Right. Yeah. There you go.
The question was, have you talked to him?
Talked to him.
Her answer was yes.
Yeah.
I called him a little while ago. The follow-up was, how's he doing? And she said, I haven't talked to him. I left him a message. But wait, the first question is, well, his voice was on the voicemail. It's just like talking to him.
Apparently
it's an amazing miracle of science. Oh.
She's so weird.
Okay, all right. So let's pick it up where I know I'm asking you to cut into the middle of it, but go ahead and grab from right there if you can. We'll just continue.
I have not talked to him. I just left him a message after I heard the news. I was otherwise on the event at the event. I think Joe Biden is a fighter, and that is what I told him and left him a message. He's a fighter.
That's what I told him.
He's going to fight this, and we're going to hold him up and pray for his recovery and for his strength and for his family.
You write about him a lot in the book. Have you talked to him about the book?
Yes.
Yeah. What did he say?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on. It's just you and I.
I haven't talked to him.
Madam Vice President, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
Technically, he left me a message. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I didn't really.
Yes.
What did he say about the book? Well, I think you're not going to have to the beeper ready.
He left me a message, which I'm not going to tell you about.
Yeah. God, just the word. No, excuse me. She is a transcendent political figure. We are fortunate to have her walking amongst us, and she deserves to be the nominee in 2028 by acclamation.